morning.
Hello.
How are you?
I have coffee in hand.
I have tea. I've been drinking a lot of tea.
Yeah. What
Yes.
do you like, flavored tea, or are you a black tea drinker, or
Just
what?
black tea, just plain black tea with honey. We've
Mm.
had, I tell you, sickness going
You've been
around
sick,
the house.
right? You've been sick.
Constant. Yeah, Craig is sick now.
Cheryl's noticing
Sick.
two things for this kind of presentation. It looks like without the reception area, the session only starts when the meeting starts.
Yeah.
And there's a button to push for a scheduled session versus an always on session. And since we only have one session, might as well have it always on. It need to be a scheduled session.
For this type of an open thing, you mean?
Of a meeting.
Okay.
Things I noticed this morning.
All right.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting into, and I panicked for just a moment. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my coffee and wait, and then then it was fine.
Well, yeah, I was like, should I be in early? I'm like, I don't see it.
At 8:28, I was thinking about tweaking the session setup a little bit, and then I thought, no, leave it alone. Don't do anything right now. Just
don't touch anything. So I saw Paul was in, but then he dropped off, so I don't know what happened to Paul. And there's Jennifer. Hey, Jen. Oh my gosh.
Good morning. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. So now, is everyone coming in? They'll just automatically come onto the stage. Okay.
My snow.
I love that.
I was snow blowing this morning.
Oh my gosh.
I had to stop to get to the meeting.
I'm glad you remembered. Yay.
Well, we had snow plows, you guys. We had 3 of them in our cul-de-sac. It was crazy. Wow. It was awesome.
And it is still snowing.
It's still snowing here in Meridian. North Meridian.
Oh, Janelle. Hello, Janelle.
Hi. I assume we're supposed to come on stage.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be the Brady Bunch. We're going to be like.
We should practice that one day. Have a little sing along.
Right. Love that.
I'll sing out a song the next time. All right.
It's our first time using Hopin like a regular meeting. It's not as much a presentation, it's a conversation. And so this will be interesting to see how it works.
Yep. I love that.
Yep.
And Paul is back. Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
All right. So we had 17 registrants. But we all know how that goes, right? You register and then something comes up. I mean, people might be out snow blowing.
They might be.
We're avoiding that.
Or avoiding, yeah.
All
right. I will give folks another 15 seconds, and we may just have a small crowd, which is totally fine. Oh, Sven, good morning.
Morning.
There's still a bunch of people, Karen. Maybe they don't know they need to hit the button to come on stage.
Oh.
Share audio and video.
Yeah. Even though it's really obvious, I had to look. It took me a minute before I.
The only 2 people I see who are live right now with us who are not on stage are Jennifer Grants and Jessica Ernst. Everybody else has signed up for the event, but they're not necessarily in the session.
Okay. You're saying those folks are in the session right now?
There's Jessica. Hey, Jessica.
Good morning. Yes, if you're in the session, click the button that says share audio and video. And I love that everyone is sharing their video. I was going to ask everyone, if you are able and are comfortable, and it is early, and I imagine most of you are working from home, avoiding the snow, so you might be in your jammies still. So if you don't feel comfortable sharing your video, you can certainly turn your webcam off. But I would love to see your faces, if at all possible. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And once again, good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you all being here. I am excited that you are here. I have some notes, so bear with me. Hello, Jennifer. Good morning. All right. I do have some topics, but I did want to, again, welcome you to our very first Coffee and Convo. You have your coffee. I have my tea this morning. We've had sickness cheers going through our house, so I'm drinking a lot of tea and honey these days. But welcome to our virtual kickoff. We decided to have the kickoff as a virtual event rather than an in-person event, which is probably a good idea when I look out the window and it is snowing like crazy. So I'm glad hopefully you all are avoiding the roads right now. But I want to talk a little bit about kind of the purpose of Coffee and Convo and kind of what we're planning in the future. And then I have a few topics, and I'm just going to open up. If you have any questions about PMI, PMIWIC, I may or may not have the answers, but I have several of our board members and our executive volunteers here, which is awesome, to help me out. And if we don't have the answer, we'll write it down and get back to you. And then we'll have a little surprise for you guys at the very end. So stick around. All right, so Coffee and Convo. So the idea was to really just to meet you guys in a more informal session and give you guys an opportunity to ask questions, get to know us, the board members. By the way, I'm Karen Hardesty. I probably should introduce myself. My name is Karen Hardesty. I am your current president-elect. Basically, I am on deck to become your president in July. So, thank you. So our board, I guess, cycle starts in July. So we serve from July through June. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But again, the idea of this Coffee and Convo is to have kind of a really informal session. And I apologize for all the glare on my glasses, but if I don't have my glasses, I can't see you. Is to have these informal sessions, smaller groups, where you have the opportunity to ask questions, whatever questions you might have about PMI, project management, PMIWIC. And I may not have the answer. We'll write it down and get back to you for sure. This first one is virtual. The next few will be in person. And what we'll do is we'll rotate around the valley. So I'll pick a coffee shop, maybe on the east side, maybe out in Nampa, out in Eagle and Meridian. So kind of meet you where you are, because we know our members and even our prospective members are, located around the valley. So hopefully we can come to a location that's convenient for you. We'll buy you a cup of coffee, have a conversation, just make it kind of an open house kind of thing. You can come and ask questions, sit down, have a chat, relax, maybe on your way to work. And did we lose someone? I'm trying to think. It all shifted. So that's kind of the idea. By the way, I'm just curious, how many of you are current members of PMI and PMI or PMIWIC? Oh, awesome. I love that. I love that. I'm so thankful for you and for you guys participating. All right, so that's Coffee and Convo in a small nutshell. Do you guys have any questions? Feel free to interrupt anytime. This is like any sort of meeting. Feel free to interrupt, ask a question.
So in the future, we want to meet in person. Is that right? And then right. What's a good time for everybody? I mean, if this is going to be something where people are on their way to work, we're probably going to want to meet earlier than 8:30, yeah?
Well, I think we had decided, Michelle, we talked about this. We'll start probably at an 8:30 to 9:30 type of time frame.
And so kind of feedback that we get, like, good morning, everybody. My name is Michelle Marshall. I'm an executive volunteer, and I hit up your organizations for support, whatever that looks like for PMIWIC. And I also belong to other organizations that do a similar format. And as we gave input to Karen, who her idea to reach out to each of us and bring our community together, we found that 8:30 or 9 start time is good because either A, people are going to go to work and take the call from work, B, hybrid roles, etc., children, elder care, etc. So there are some informal data collection on what's a good time. All of that said, we'd like to hear from each of you because some of us are fully employed, some are retired, but very active, etc., on time. And the question I was going to ask Karen was cadence, right? You know, once a month, day of the week, we're going to do this together. So while there's a whole bunch of information on what's a good time, we really want to hear from our membership what's good for you. And my input on why we think this first.
Right. So let me just mention cadence. So that's good questions. I forgot to mention this. Right now we'll start out maybe doing this once a quarter. So my thought is, you know, it's January. We'll have one in April, July, and October at the moment. And the next 3, my plan is to have those in person unless there's something that, you know, prevents us from doing it in person. So so that's a thought.
So Karen, it's in person only, right? You're not going to use any virtual things, right? If you're sitting in a coffee shop.
We will. I think we'll flip flop it. We're gonna flip flop it though. We'll have a virtual session kind of interspersed, but I think the next 3, my plan is to have them in person and see how it goes. Okay. Good morning, Sven's daughter. I love that.
Yes.
It's obviously a snow day for the kids too.
We're home.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Love it. I mean, so, you know, I guess I will, you know, to Cheryl's question and what Michelle was saying, you know, for you guys that are on the phone or on the virtual event, I mean, do we need to have it earlier? 8 o'clock, 8:30?
If it's in person, it seems like maybe, I don't know.
I would say for the virtual 8:30 is great because my kids are not in school, but if they were in school, I wouldn't have been able to make it prior to 8:30. So.
Okay. All right. I mean, we'll just see how it goes, you know.
It's for virtual, then that's
what's
virtual.
That?
What? Say that again, Cheryl.
Is that virtual only for you?
Yeah. If it was in person, it would in person would still even probably be about the same because if I take my kids to school, I'd be leaving their school at about 8 to get wherever or get home. So like 8:30 seems actually pretty ideal for me.
I have a question. Do most of you work from home? Like, raise your hand. Do you work from home typically? Hybrid. It looks like mostly, and then some hybrid. Okay. I was fortunate enough to retire a few years ago. So, all right. So we'll keep it at 8:30 for the next time. We'll see how it goes. I'm a kind of person that let's try it and we'll see, and then we'll make adjustments as we go along. And then we will have a virtual coffee and convo occasionally as well. But I would love to meet people face to face if at all possible. You know, I love that face to face interaction. So. And then get you guys away from the computer a little bit. All right, so we have 15 minutes left. I want to talk about a few topics, and then I will open up for questions. And then, you know, before we disperse, I have a little surprise for you guys. So I do want to mention PDD, Professional Development Day. March 1st, Friday, March 1st, it's our premier in-person event of the year. It's a half-day event. You can earn up to 4 PDUs. We have 9 awesome breakout sessions. We have 1 awesome keynote speaker. You can check it out on our website at, I think, PMIWIC.org/PDD2024. You can get a little snippet of Tanya Herb, our keynote speaker. She has a little video out there, so you want to check that out.
Has anybody seen the video? Just curious, besides the board. Michelle, yeah. Maybe you should check it out. Be interested to see what you think.
Yeah.
It's our first foray into doing video promotions for our events.
Yeah, well, I love it. Tickets are on sale through February 27th. They go off sale at noon on Tuesday, February 27th. So be sure to register. It's going to be an awesome afternoon. You get lunch, get to see some awesome breakout speakers, see our awesome keynote speaker as well. Anybody registered for PDD yet? I need to register, honestly, so I've got it. That's on my to-do list. All right. I do want to also talk about elections. So our board consists, I think, 10 members now. We have 10 board positions, and every year half of the board goes up for election. So this year we have our VP of Finance, VP of Membership, VP of Technology, VP of Programs. Janelle's our current VP of Programs person. And George is our current VP of Technology person. I am your president-elect, and again, I'll move into a president role in July. But, if you have, any interest in volunteering as a board member or even as an executive volunteer or, whatever, we'd love to hear from you. Now, I will mention that next week, on the 24th of January, we have our evening event. Is it at 6 o'clock, Janelle?
Doors open at 5:30.
5:30, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
At the Outback.
It's at Outback, yep. And
so we want people to check in around 5:30, get their drink tickets, get a place to sit, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll start report out at 6.
Okay, awesome. And what's happening there is it's our passport program, or kind of a passport game, where you will be able to visit with each of the current board members, learn a little bit about their position, what they do, talk to our executive volunteers as well, again, find out what they do, and just learn more about what the board is all about. So would love to see all of you there. It's going to be fun. Fill out your passport and you get entered into a drawing for a $25 gift card, I believe. So
so Janelle, we're going to save, we have a special $50 gift card that we got from one of our mentees out of our mentor program. We thought initially we'd do it in January, then we thought, oh no, we should do this it was April, right? Yeah. And we have candidates, it's kind of meet the candidates right before elections. And so, I thought that was a great way to honor those who have put their name in the hat as nominees for an election. So that was very kind of her. She was super appreciative, by the way, of the whole mentorship program and having the opportunity to be mentored. She's early on in her career. She's going to be studying for a CAPM, and she was just thrilled about the mentor program. Colleen's done an awesome job with that. So if any of you are interested in mentoring others, I highly recommend you to sign up for it. Or maybe you feel like you're taking a step in another direction in your career and you would like to be mentored in another way as a seasoned project manager, you could be a mentee as well. It's a great program. And it's free for members. So awesome plug for the mentorship program. So I've talked about a few things: PDD, elections, our event next week. Love to see you all there. Are there any questions? We talked about mentorship. Any questions about any of that before I open it up? In fact, I'll just go ahead and open it up. I mean, this is kind of how I want it to be. If you have any questions for us, I was thinking who I lost. We lost George. George just direct messaged me. He's having some technical difficulties. And he was curious to know if it was affecting the whole session or just him, because he's an organizer. So he and I have different rights on this platform. And so he was worried that, everybody went dark. And I was like, nope, we're all good.
Just you, George.
Sorry, George. Say, buddy. Anyways, hopefully he'll be back.
All right. Questions, guys. This is for you. Comment.
Technology person. That's not good.
I was curious, the last brown bag or lunch and learn was canceled. And I just wondered, did something happen where the speaker needed to
Two speakers, actually. So our original speaker, she is reserve, and she got called to active duty. So we bumped her to May. And so we had a replacement speaker. Ryan Holzer was going to speak. He had this topic all lined up, ready to go. The night before, Monday evening at 11 o'clock, I get an email that says he ended up with an emergent situation and was not able to speak after all as our backup speaker. So we actually went through two speakers. We're like, we're done.
It's not meant to be.
Yeah.
I get that for sure.
It was not meant to be. All right.
Yeah, we've tried to, in the past, do a quick, let's throw in a webinar link and we can all watch together like a watch party and have comments and stuff. And we've done that in the past. And honestly, Brian was also out with an emergent situation. He is our Lunch and Learn coordinator. So as his backup, I have future cities, plus I'm doing comms coordinator. I just went, I can't, no, I'm done. So I did reach out, I did say, hey, anybody else got ideas? And what do you think about this? Is it okay to cancel? And I got the response back. Yeah, it's okay. It's just let it go. It's like, alrighty.
Life happens.
Sorry about that.
Life happens,
Well, and I don't know if you guys follow us on LinkedIn, but Allison, who's our VP of marketing, she put a message out there that, of course, things have been canceled, and then redirected folks to, there was a webinar that she linked everybody to out of projectmanagement.com. Just if you already have the time allocated and you wanted to earn a PDU or whatever, you could certainly do that. So if you go out to LinkedIn and you follow PMI Western Idaho chapter, you'll see that there's a link out there to a webinar from projectmanagement.com. And again, if you're a PMI or PMIWIC member, free to you to use that library, and it would be a free PDU. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I have another question.
Yeah.
My friend and I were talking about how we've been wanting to brush up and know how to utilize everything on all our Microsoft tools. And I was wondering if anybody knows of, if you've done it or a friend who's can recommend a tutorial of, I've looked at different things, but you just never know how good it is until you get into it. And I want to look for a recommendation for mostly like PowerPoint and the project one.
Oh, Microsoft Project?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Microsoft Project is going to be a little bit difficult only because that requires a specialized license, whereas PowerPoint, of course, is lumped in with the Microsoft package of Word and Excel and so forth. I can look into that for you as your education coordinator and get back to this group and see if there's anything PMI offers. I know from a chapter perspective we don't, but I'll certainly take that as maybe something we need to work on as another program that we could support, right, through education coordination in terms of the toolbox, right, for project managers. So yeah, I'll look
and
into
even
that.
Excel. Is there just times when things aren't going fast enough for me, or I get frustrated wanting to really get out of my comfort zone and do new things, and I'm like, oh gosh, I need a refresher.
Does anyone have a suggestion on any other while we investigate?
Have you looked at LinkedIn Learning at all? That's kind of, it's a bit hit or miss, but some of the more expansive courses they have, you can break it out by topic. But of course, you have to have the LinkedIn Premium to be able to access the learning.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Sven. We have one of our speakers who has his own education channel out there, Oliver. Oh, gosh, what is his last name? He does mostly AI, but he does a lot of stuff with project management and tools as well. What is his last name, guys?
Did he already speak at a Lunch and Learn?
Yeah, 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Oliver Yarborough.
Yarborough, thank you.
Right,
Yarborough.
right.
Yeah, follow his channel. He's great.
Amazing, Jennifer.
Yeah,
we've got a couple Jennifers, and everybody.
Yeah, what else is new?
A is the letter of the day. Oliver Yarborough, a giver to the community. Great information.
And it's a channel, like YouTube channel. Is that what you meant?
It's a learning channel, right? Mm-hmm.
A learning channel.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it for you. Hold on. And I will put that out in the chat.
And also, I've seen some cool things, actually, and I can't remember who it is or what Instagram handle, but when I'm at night, I'm looking at all the videos on Instagram. And there's somebody who puts together, he's like, do this on PowerPoint. And he does some pretty amazing things on PowerPoint. I'm like, I want to try that.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I'll try to find out who that is.
Okay.
But he has little snippets out there.
Okay, so I'm putting out his LinkedIn page. That's his profile page, and then this is his LinkedIn learning channel. And
It's
you can
under
check
the
out
session chat.
Yes, in the session chat.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, good idea, Sven. I forgot about LinkedIn Learning, and there are some great options out there. But you're right, it's kind of hit or miss. You're like,
And you can get PDUs for a number of LinkedIn Learning options too. You can even filter through so you only find the courses that will give you PDUs.
Bonus.
Even better. Even better. All right, we have a few minutes left. Any other questions before I get to my little surprise?
I like this idea and the going to different coffee shops. I think that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, I hope to see you in person at one of those. So be on the lookout for communications on that in the future.
And you know what? I actually have to drop because I got something at 9. So you guys have a great snow day.
Right.
Thanks for doing this,
Carol.
guys.
I'm glad you were here. All right. Okay, before everyone else drops, okay, I have, so in the communications, we said we're going to, put everyone's name in a hat and draw for a $10 gift card at a coffee shop. And I'm just looking at, we have such a small number. I'm just going to send you all an e-gift card to a coffee shop. So,
Hi.
yeah, that way, I'm like, it's just not.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, of course. Now, what I will ask you, though, I'm going to use the email that you registered with. Okay, if that's good for everybody. Okay. Otherwise, type in your email that you want me to send it to. But that's the email I will use. So look for that later today. But I am so glad that you guys all attended. I was really honestly kind of scared that I would be the only one here. So I'm like, did anyone register? I don't know. So I am so glad you are here. I hope you had some value in it. You will receive, I need to ask Cheryl and George about this, but we'll send instructions on how to log PDUs for this event because you get 0.5 PDUs for this. But yeah, be on the lookout for our next event that'll be coming up in April. I really do hope I see you next week, some of you next week at our passport event at Outback. It would be really fun. Again, if you have questions about the board and volunteering, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to see you volunteer. March 1st, PDD. Hope to see you there as well. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay warm.
Thanks,
Thanks, Karen. Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye.
Say that, right? Bye.
Bye.
Bye.